वेलकम डी स्टूडेंट्स। तो आज हम हमारा पार्ट टू अल्केलॉइड्स, हमने पार्ट वन में अल्केलॉइड्स देखा था, कंटिन्यू किया था। अब हम पार्ट टू में आगे आयन एक्सचेंज मेथड से स्टार्ट करेंगे। Recently, an entirely new technique based on ion exchange principle for the isolations for alkaloid has been developed. The alkaloids react with H plus ion to form a covalent bond by exchange with the positive ion. ये एक टेक्निक है आयन एक्सचेंज मेथड, जिसमें कि अल्कलॉइड्स आइसोलेशन से डेवलप होते हैं और अल्कलॉइड्स रिएक्ट विथ एच प्लस आयन के साथ रिएक्ट करते हैं और कोवेलेंट बॉन्ड एक्सचेंज होकर पॉजिटिव आयन में कन्वर्ट होते हैं, इज एब्सॉर्ब स्मूथली on a hydrogen ion exchange. They are then removed from the exchanger by regenerations with alkali together with a suitable solvent as ethanol or acetone. We have discussed the general properties. Alkaloids are usually colorless, crystalline, non-volatile solid. Well, few of them coin or nicotines are liquids, except the liquid alkaloids which are soluble in water. The rest are insoluble in water but dissolve readily in ethanol, ether, chloroform, and benzene. They are optically active, the majority beginning levorotatory. And fourth one is they are basic with a bitter taste and dissolve in mineral acid to form salt. And physiological activity, most of them poses mark to physiological activity when orally administered. Coin in the violet poisons, and the quinine is anti-malarial. Quinine is the anti-malarial, and cocaine act as a local anesthetic. This is the cocaine as also used in anesthetic. And morphine relief pain. It's also useful physiological activities helpful. This contains also morphine, uh, this cocaine, this quinone, and also used in solve the medical properties like malaria. So malaria, it is the anesthetic, any surgery to use these components. This morphine relief pain and atropine dilates pupils of the eyes and so on. Basic characters: the molecules of alkaloids contains one or more basic nitrogen atom, and most alkaloids are tertiary monoacid bases, while a few are secondary bases. Those they from well-defined crystalline salt with mineral acid, the hydrochloride and nitrate beginning generally readily soluble in water and alkaloidal reagent. The solutions of alkaloids in dilute mineral acid when treated with Certain reagents form insoluble precipitate, often having characteristics, color, and melting point. Such reagents as are used from identifications of alkaloids are frequently spoken of a alkaloidal reagent. This is spoken for alkaloidal reagents. This common one are the this the chloroplatinic acids and the H2PtCl6, the phosphomolybic acid. This the phosphotungstic acid and picric acid, tannic acid, potassium mercuric iodide, HgCl2Ki, Meier's reagent, potassium bismuth iodide, KBiL4. This is the potassium cadmium iodide, KCdI3, potassium iodide solutions in iodine, KiI3, Ki3. The same alkaloidal reagents may be used for precipitations of proteins and other complex substances of basic nature. We are discussed the general properties, and then we are discussing the classifications for ion exchange method for alkaloids. Alkaloids are so numerous and involve such as variety of molecular structures that their regional classifications is difficult. However, the best approach to problem is to group them into families, depending on the type of heterocyclic ring system present in the molecules. Very often, a number of alkaloids having similar structures and found in the same plants and also show resembles in the properties. And alkaloids are also named as group after the name of plant from which they are isolated for historical reasons as also because of their structure complexities. The nomenclatures of alkaloids has been systematized. The name of individual members are therefore generally derived from the name of plants in which they occur or from their characteristics and physiological activities. The various classes of alkaloids according to heterocyclic system they are contained listed below, and pyrrolidine alkaloids, pyperidine alkaloids, pyridine pyrrolidine, pyridine pyrrolidine alkaloids, pyridine pyperidine alkaloids, quinoline alkaloids, isoquinoline alkaloids, indole alkaloids. In the following treatments, we will discuss the above classes taking example of familiar member. In most of this case, we will also give consistency the con concisely, concisely the structure and the source of characteristic and physiological activity. The detailed study of important alkaloids, however, will be taken up separately at a later stage. And pyrrolidine alkaloids, they contain the pyrrolidine ring system, and this the structures of pyrrolidine, hy- hydrogen, hygiene, and cuscohygiene. That's the structure of this pyrrolidine alkaloids. Next one is piperidine alkaloids. Third one is pyrrolidine, pyridine, pyrrolidine, pyridine alkaloids. And fourth one is piperidine alkaloids. Fifth one is quinoline alkaloids. Sixth one is isoquinoline alkaloids. Indole alkaloids. Seventh one is this the seven classifications of alkaloids. We are discussing that there are the basic characteristics. We are discussing that this is the piperidine alkaloids. They have the piperidine as the heterocyclic structure. That is the shown that heterocyclic structures for the piperines and piperidines, isopolytyrines. That's lobulines. This also showed that the structure of piperidines. Next one is this the constant. This third one is the pyro pyrrolidine, pyridine alkaloids. The heterocyclic ring system present in these alkaloids is the pyrrolidine, pyridine. Example are nicotines or myo myosmin. So pyrrolidine and the pyridine is the nicotines and mysomine is the nicotine is isolated from the tobacco's leaf. It's also high toxic which in very small doses causes respiratory simulations and in large doses causes this the respiratory failure and that this the high quantity you need to large quantities also inhale in the respiratory systems is the resulted that respiratory system that otherwise it's the failing case the death the mysomine also occurs in tobacco and aroma of tobacco smoke is due to it. Fourth one is pyridine and piperidine alkaloids. This is the family of alkaloids contains a pyridine ring systems and joined to piperidine ring system. The simplet number is anabasine and is the cheap alkaloid isolated from the poisonous acetic plant and anabasic is the also another alkaloids of the class of anabatic anatebins. It's the anabasine and anatabine. That's also structure showed that this is the classifications in the pyridines and piperidines alkaloids. This the next one is fifth one is quinoline alkaloids. These they have the basic heterocyclic ring system and quinolines in quinolines and quinine as the paraquinine. That's showing that this is a quinoline. This is the right sides and primaquinine. It's a simple that is first of all quinolines shows the basic structures of quinolines that's separating in the ring systems also is basic and after additions the chain ring CH3 CH2 CH is also connected in the benzene systems that call also quinine and paraquinine, right? Is the next one is it's the isoquinoline and alkaloids. It's the isoquinolines. It's the simple basics. It's the papaverine, papaverine, and morphine. This the two both structures are separated in isoquinoline alkaloids. And seventh one is the indole alkaloids and indole and this is the structure of basic skeletons. This is the indole and the lysergic acids and the astracnic and this they showed that right side starchnic acid is the indole alkaloids basic upon the indole skeletons are widely distributed in nature and physiological actions of this substance may be raised in the phase that derivatives of indole play important role in the chemistry of the brain. This the lysergic acid is isolated from the fungus. This is also based on the alkaloids of this class in small regulated. The amount is used in treatment of migraines and headache as also from the inductions of uterine and contractions in childbirth. The dimethylamide of lysergic acid LSD is most of the potent phycotomic phycotomitic phycotomitics is a substance. No, it has varied effect on human producing colors and hallucinations hallucinations and psychotic states similar to those of the schizophrenia. And the another indole alkaloids is the trichinic and which they isolated from the seeds of trichonos noxomia mica. It's the also extremely poisonous and used to extremely worming. Okay, dear student, we are discussing the determinations of structures of alkaloids in the next video lectures in part 3 to be continued in part 3.